It's only 7:30 and I've already had my first cry. Living in America.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. There's so many people in America right now going through it and just waking up, realizing that the American dream that they've always been told is a scam. So let me know what you think in the comments. Much love.
So I just got off of work. I'm feeling super overwhelmed today. I don't understand how I work for the government and then I do Uber Eats after work. I'm working 12 to 15-hour days and I just don't understand. As an American in one of the greatest countries supposedly in the world, how is like food a luxury for me? Like, I don't understand. Like, I work so hard and I don't even have $1,200 to fix my car when it breaks. And because it did, I had to sacrifice not only food, but my rent is now late. I just don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. I work so hard. So I just got off of work and now I'm gonna go do Uber Eats until 9 or 10 at night. Oh, I don't ever like to be that girl on the internet crying, but like, how much longer do I have to work 17-hour days, or not work 17-hour days, but be gone? I start work at 7:45 in the morning and I get off at 4:30, and then immediately after I do Uber Eats until, let's say, 9-10 o'clock at night. And that doesn't even count for the time that I spend driving to get to work. I have to wake up at 4:20 every morning and sit in 2-hour traffic to go to work. I just am so drained and I have nothing. I have nothing to show for it. I'm starving. I wear freaking sweatpants with drawstrings to work because I don't have money to buy new clothes that actually fit me. And I work for the government. Like, what's going on? I literally can't do this anymore.
Oh, geez. What a day. Let's look at the news. See what's going on. Another form of government aid has been suspended while billionaires are getting more oversight and control. All right, maybe our foreign policy is a little bit better. Imperialism is back, baby, and the United States is going to be on the wrong side of history.
Oh, it only cost $4.4 million to achieve the American dream. 4.4? I don't even get to save $1 from a paycheck that I get, okay? How am I supposed to achieve that? The last number, get this, 3.4 million. A little more achievable.
I don't know if I should be saying this right now, but y'all do know the American dream is a scam. No, seriously, like, who said, a 3,000 square foot house, 2 kids, a dog, a big backyard with a white picket fence up front? Who said that is the standard to living? Seriously, because I've seen people living in tiny homes, boats, even cars, and you cannot tell them that they're not happy. Personally, my family and I, we've lived in an RV for over 3 years, and again, you cannot tell us that we're not happy. We've had farms, lakes, the woods as our backyard, and honestly, just this way of living has been so peaceful and such a journey for us and our family.
A lot of people upset right now about what's going on in the country, the constitutional crisis that we currently find ourselves in. They think that the country is broken, that it's not working the way that it's supposed to. And that's because these people still think that the America they were taught to believe in, the America that they learned about in school, the America that is sold to them, they think that still exists. Yeah, it doesn't. The actual America that we live in, it's working just fine. Ask the people who bought it. They love what's going on. They couldn't be happier. Right now, they have poor people fighting with other poor people about whether or not poor people should be fed. Meanwhile, these rich people at the tippity top continue to get endless amounts of corporate welfare. And pretty much nobody ever really talks about that. And if they do, it doesn't get nearly as much attention as welfare queens. What was it George Carlin said about the American dream? They call it the American dream because you'd have to be asleep to believe it.
Well, good morning, my fellow TikTok tax-paying citizens. You know, the biggest scam of life is paying taxes on the money you make, then paying taxes on the money you spend, and paying taxes on things you already own that you've already paid taxes on with the money that's already been taxed. Whoa. But guess what? We're told that's a privilege. And to a certain extent, it is a privilege living in the United States. But if we all pay our fair share, there's no problems, right? That's why this immigration thing is like it is. I work around a lot of Spanish. Most I talk to do not pay taxes. Contrary to popular belief, no taxes. Me want cash, they tell me. Okay. Stupidity. Nothing is more stupid than the glorification of stupidity. That, ladies and gentlemen, is where we stand. Have a great day.
Please tell me what the definition of the American dream is, because every day I feel like I'm living in a nightmare. Oh, we were taught we have to go to college, get a good education so we can have a good paying job. Or corporate. I dread getting up at 5:30 tomorrow morning, going to work for 7 o'clock, and then I punch out at 7 o'clock, and it takes me 45 minutes to drive home. Then I sit in my car for about 15 minutes because I'm so exhausted. And then when I get out of my car, I feel like a 90-year-old lady. And then I come inside, I have to eat dinner at 8 o'clock, feed my cats, change my cat box, laundry, and whatever else I have to do. Let's talk about the electric bill. My supply charge is more than my usage. I have to pay taxes on my car. I have to pay taxes on my house. I have to pay taxes on each and everything. I got my pew pew license. I had to pay 3 different fees. One to the state, one to my local police department, and I had to pay to get my fingerprints. So I was looking at $300 just to get my pew pew license. Don't even get me going with the cost of food. We're living an American dream. Well, I keep going. And all of us are in credit card debt. We're in so much credit card debt because we can't keep up with the cost of living. And one more thing, the health insurance. My boyfriend has diabetes. His deductible is $10,000. So please tell me what the definition of the American dream is. Because I am so exhausted even talking about it.
I'm celebrating my retirement. I made it to the finish line. Happy retirement to me. The American dream. Thank God I don't have a mortgage. Oh, I have no car payment either. It's a good thing, because I wasn't able to save any money. Is it? I'll figure it out.
Part of thriving under collapse has to be to mourn the life that you thought you'd be able to live. That will take a while. Most of us are not there yet. You're not crazy for feeling this loss. You're not lazy for struggling to keep up. This system was never built for us to thrive. It was built to extract, to exploit, to keep us hoping for a future that was never meant to arrive. And that grief, that's real. That's the way of generations waking up to the truth. But here's the thing. Mourning is just the first step, because after grief comes clarity, and clarity, that's powerful. It means we stop blaming ourselves for not hustling hard enough and start seeing the cracks in the foundation. The American dream was always just a marketing campaign, one designed to keep people running on a treadmill that only benefits the powerful. So what do? We start imagining something different. We take that lost future, and instead of chasing a lie, we build something real, community, Mutual aid, a system where we take care of each other instead of waiting for scraps from the top. Because if the dream is dead, then we get to dream again. But this time, we do it together. And this time, we don't ask permission.
And of course, when the signs began to emerge that this empire, the United States empire, after 100-year rise up, was beginning to show the signs of decline, of peaking, of breaking, it's not surprising that the leaders of such a system with such a history would be deep into denying what had happened, not seeing what was exploding around them.
My husband and I just got back from living in West Africa in a country called Sierra Leone, and a lot of our family has been asking us like what's the biggest differences and culture shocks, and it's been kind of hard for me to answer, but I think that I just figured it out today when I was on my walk. I was just walking in this neighborhood for over an hour, and I mean, huge houses, basketball courts, swimming pools, huge yards, 0 people. Like, it is one of the most bizarre feelings because it literally feels like a ghost town. And I feel like before I lived in Sierra Leone and was like in a village every day, I might see this as like really peaceful and quiet. But now I just like, I can't get this out of my head that like this creeps me out. Like, where is everybody? On my last day living there, after being there for a year, I was like walking around this village that we like spent all of our time in, and I was just going from like house to house, like visiting my friends and these families and just sobbing and like being like, I was telling them how I'm gonna miss it so much and just like what a special place and community it is. And so many of them were like, why are you crying? You're going back to America. Like, you're so lucky to be living there and stuff. And while like that is true on many levels, I just also tried to explain to them like the community that they have there, at least in this village that I was in.
If you live in the United States, there are so many problems with the way we exist in time and space that has us not interacting like meaningfully with other human beings as often. So if you are feeling lonely, it's not because you don't have enough friends or because you're somehow bad at socializing. This really is a systemic issue. Most American cities are built for cars, not people. It's particular to my state too. Everything is so spread out in Arizona. For me to hang out with a friend, it usually involves a 30-minute to 1-hour drive through traffic. It's just a whole ordeal to get somewhere to see somebody. Also, half of us are like working from home like me. I really do get lonely. The amount of human faces I see is so limited compared to when I was studying at the University of Calgary, and don't even get me started on how great it is to be in Europe, just walking everywhere and seeing people exist in what's called third places, somewhere like the park or the cafe, libraries, places that are community oriented, that are free. If you're struggling financially, your risk of loneliness increases.
So is anybody else in America out there just like doom scrolling every day and trying to figure out what you can do to help? If you found places to help, please let me know. Leave a message. Thank you.
If you've ever traveled outside of the United States, then you know that the American dream isn't what we thought it was. There is a heaviness that I experience immediately when I return back to this country after traveling. After witnessing in other countries how they live with so little, but they're so happy, it gets harder and harder to come back and exist in this capitalist society, because once you've experienced that taste, it gets harder to put yourself back in this box that the United States has created for us. Call me crazy, but I choose to believe that we were created for more than giving our lives to capitalism, and I believe that we are creative beings and we were meant to create and connect and have community and experience freedom and peace. And there's a reason that we're all sick, unhappy, and stressed, and working ourselves into a hole. It's all creating this false sense of security, this, oh, I'm safe now, I have these things that I've acquired that are gonna keep me safe. I feel secure now. The only certainty in this life is uncertainty. Like, it's beginning to be quite suffocating. Surely I'm not the only one.
I came to US in 99 with big dreams, you know. This country has given me so much. I met the love of my life here. I became a mother here. I became a doctor here. It gave me opportunities that the country that I'm originally from did not give to me. And this is a message from a friend of mine who also grew up under totalitarian government in Eastern Europe, like myself. And it just made me so freaking sad, because for the last several years, we've been talking about, you know, that the American dream is now dead. It's been dead. It's been so dead. And even though I was just a child when I was growing up under totalitarian government, I still remember everything. I remember it so clearly. I remember all the stories that my grandparents would say. I remember the Radio Free Europe that we had in Poland, which was completely illegal. It was banned by the government for the reason of the threat of security to the Polish people. And you could get imprisoned for listening to this radio. Some of my dad's friends actually spent 2 years in prison because a neighbor ratted them out that they were listening to that radio. And at that time, it was like the only way of getting a true information of what was actually happening in the West, because everything was propaganda. I remember even the freaking cartoon. Okay, we had like one TV station, okay, that was the entire, it was just like watching Fox News 24/7, okay? It was a complete propaganda continuously, and there was a break at 7 p.m. for a cartoon for children, right? And then the cartoon would be like for, 15 or 30 minutes. And usually the cartoon would be another piece of propaganda, like Russian propaganda. And when I'm looking at what's happening in America right now, it is absolutely terrifying. It is terrifying that American people are so disillusioned and so easily distracted from what is actually happening. All these like tactics that are being done right now, it's literally just a playbook. It's a classic playbook from what we've experienced in other countries. And it breaks my heart, not only this message, because obviously, like, I love this country. I hope we can save it somehow. But also the fact that so many Americans still think that, oh, this will never happen here. It's so scary, guys. It is so scary. Like, wake up.
America, we need to talk about something. And that's the epidemic of loneliness here in the United States and indeed the Western world. Now, I know when you see TV shows and when you see movies, you think everybody's meeting constantly and everybody has plenty of friends. But that's actually not the case, unfortunately. As a matter of fact, in a new recent survey of 10,000 people, only 4.3% of people actually meet with friends on the weekends. The other 95.5% or so of people simply don't. They either stay at home with a close significant other, or they simply don't talk to anybody at all. They just maintain to themselves and do whatever the fuck
it is they do by themselves. Now, this is both men and women. Obviously, the older you get, the more lonely you grow. At least that's what the study shows. But the only person in any demographic that seems to still be going out clubbing every weekend is young single white women. Every other demographic has abandoned going to the club, going out, and basically getting faced for fun on the weekend. Every other demographic group is in sharp decline with that. The only group of people in the country that seems to still want to go out clubbing every weekend is young liberal white women. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that part. Conservatives across the board are not going out. Liberals across the board are not going out either. Only younger, under 25, liberal white women are still going to the clubs. So when you think you're not doing anything on the weekend and you're not having fun, just remember, according to this study, only young liberal white women are going to the clubs. Everybody else has told that lifestyle to go f itself.
Let's talk about how the American dream is really the American trap. A lot of people are falling for this American dream, but it's really the American trap. It's designed to keep you in so much debt that you never ever get to any other level or surpass anything. You'll be stuck with the trap. The fake wealth race that they've taught you to obtain. See, the whole concept of money is elevation, right? So therefore, you're putting your money into assets. So therefore, you're building cash flow. And by building cash flow, you don't have to work for money. But if you're working for money, that means you're selling your time. And if you're selling your time, that means you are still a slave to the system. But the whole goal is to leverage your time. So therefore, you don't have to sell your time. So therefore, you're able to get money for someone else's laboring in time. This whole system is how it's designed. Look at that. America is basically a pyramid. So the American dream has really American trap. It tells you that you want the big old house and the fancy cars, but you're not leveraging it with assets. You're leveraging it with your time. So therefore, you're killing yourself. I have people that brag about their big homes, but they're never home to enjoy it. So again, the American dream may really be the American trap. But a lot of people are going for it because they're taught that it's all about looking like wealth. No, it's about building wealth and buying back your time. So therefore, you don't have to sell your time and someone else owns your time. It's crazy when you realize that you are a pawn on a chessboard and you are only being leveraged by the kings and the queens on the board. Please don't let that go over your head.
Can somebody explain to me in crayon eating terms why I make over 3 times the federal minimum wage and I cannot afford to live?
Explain it.
And I do not want to hear the pull yourself up from your bootstraps, work 90 hours a week. That's not the goal, guys.
No, it's not the goal. It should not
be our standard.
Agreed. Should not be our standard.
Tired of people being complacent with this uniparty. Both of them us over. When my parents were my age, they both made less than half of what I make, and they lived alone. I cannot afford to live anywhere alone. A 1-bedroom apartment, $1,800. 2-bedroom apartment.
This generation is locked out of living on their own.
Who the can afford that? It is embarrassing to come out and say that it is a struggle to survive right now. But
I'm sorry, dude. I feel for you.
People are struggling. And do not get me started on what my grandparents were doing. They, $3,000 house. And yes, I understand inflation and all of the bull that they have been pulling with the Fed. Why are we allowing it?
Why are we allowing it?
And then I clock out of my shift. I am
big one coming up here.
I have to go home, and I check the news. Another 60 billion to a country nobody can put out on a map. What are we doing?
There's something really wrong with me because as I'm scrolling TikTok, I see several posts about the American dream, and then I realize I've never thought about an American dream. Like, it's never entered my mind. Whatever I've done in life was because that's what I wanted to do, whether it was going to school or not going to school. When I purchased a house, it didn't occur to me, I'm purchasing this house because it's the American dream. I purchased the house because I prefer to live in a house. So American Dream just never occurred to me. And I wonder, why did you believe in the American Dream? You know, graduate from high school, go get your college degree. Not saying that's good or bad, I'm asking why you believed in it. Get married, have the, how many kids did they say? Was it 2.5? Do the white picket fence thing, make 6 figures. And then what? What are you supposed to do after that? Oh, let's not forget the house thing. You move in what they call a starter house. And then once you have those children, you buy another house. And then you have more children, you buy another house. And then the kids grow up and you age. And then you need to buy a smaller house. Like, why did you believe in that? What prompted you to think that that was the path to take and not to take a path of your own choosing? And I'm asking, I'm just asking. After I'm realizing, what in the world? Why are y'all talking about an American dream? What is that? And whose dream is it?
I'm done again. Sitting at the table last night with my wife doing my taxes, and I said, wow, we've owned this house for a year now and paid all this interest, paid all these taxes. It's like, $1,500 a month total. I think the taxes equal about maybe $500 a month. So I'm thinking, wow, we're going to do our taxes. We're going to make a lot of money back. We have this house and, the American dream, owning a property. We'll see how much. So we did the taxes without the house and with the house. And it was virtually the same. What's the benefit of having a damn house? I thought we had all kinds of tax savings. I thought it was going to give me a bunch of money back, but I guess I was wrong. And then I saw a few things on the news today, and a few quotes online, and just reading all the people that are just fed up, and I read a good one. How many countries tax their citizens and send the money to the United States? Can you name just one that does that? Neither can I. And also remember, too, the same people terrified of Doge wanted to hire 87,000 IRS agents to audit you to make sure you pay more. Why? Why do they want more? Don't they have enough? Unbelievable.